Before you get that pilot's license, you should answer the question, are you afraid of snakes?
I'm Andrew from Long Island, New York. Let's talk about that.
Good mythical morning.
Today's episode is brought to you by Catoulas.com, the guys with the goods.
Including this good, the Gecko magnetified cup holder and cooler. If you want to keep a can cool and in place on something that can be magnetified, which means that it'll stick to a magnet.
Metal.
This is what you need. The Gecko. Catoulas.com.
If you're a robot, you could like stick that on your, well, not there, but just anywhere on you, and it would stick to you.
Right, but then the drink would flow out unless you like put it on your shoulder.
Put it on your forehead and let it fall into your mouth.
Robots don't drink carbonated beverages. Thank you for joining us today. Good mythical morning. Again, as we've said many times, which could be any time of the day for you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, and I've noticed that some people responded to yesterday's episode about the polyphasic and the monophasic sleep cycles.
Yeah.
We've got people who've made video responses about when they sleep and when they don't sleep. We had a guy who's up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when he's watching Good Mythical Morning.
Because that's his schedule.
Because he's up then, because he only sleeps like 4 hours.
And
that's impressive.
And you're envious of this guy. He's getting closer to giving it a shot.
I really want to do it.
And ruining the lives and convenience of all of his family and friends, including me. In the news, out of Australia, an Australian pilot said he was forced to make a harrowing landing reminiscent of a Hollywood thriller after a snake added a syllable in there. After a snake popped out from behind his dashboard and slithered across his leg during a solo cargo flight.
Solo?
Yeah, he made a harrowing landing.
Well, he wasn't by himself. He was with a snake.
That's right, but the
snake doesn't have appendages. It can't.
And the snake couldn't help him with the snake because the snake was the snake. That's your problem there.
And then he landed the plane.
Well, he's wigging out. I mean, first of all, what kind of plane is this? Does it have like holes in the top of it? Like snake-shaped holes that snakes could pop out?
Well, I think it's a plane that at some point in the recent past carried snakes as its cargo.
Well, they don't really say. Braden Blandenhazet, unsure whether the snake was venomous, said Thursday that his heart raced as he tried to keep his hands still while maneuvering the plane back to the northern city of Darwin. The snake popped its head out from behind the instrument panel several times. I mean, Hey! Hey! I'm the snake! What's up?
I've been here the whole time!
You didn't know that.
That's how snakes reveal themselves.
I picture like plastic covers over panels with needles, and then I see I guess I picture a snake going behind a thing, but I don't picture a snake actually popping out. Well, the dude needs to fix his dashboard.
I just think he had to like take a crap or something, and he just decided just to land the plane because he couldn't figure out how to turn autopilot on, and he made up this story. This is what happened.
Then the ordeal worsened when the animal crawled down his leg during the approach to the airport.
Hey!
Crawling down your leg. I've got a high voice because I'm a female snake. He's quoted as saying, I've seen it on a movie once, but never in an airplane.
That's good, Link.
So what is he saying? He never saw the movie Snakes on a Plane while in a plane?
No, he's saying that he knows that this is a movie, but he has never experienced it personally. And when he did experience it personally...
It was different than as if he had been watching a movie.
He is not Samuel L. Jackson.
It was very real.
That's basically all that he's saying in that statement.
Now, I have not seen Snakes on a Plane, and I'm hoping you haven't either, because I respect you.
I haven't seen the movie, no.
Okay, good. Respect intact, at least in terms of movie taste. So I'm wondering, have any of you seen that movie? I think it's something you just see just for kicks. Let's see this because it would be funny to say that we watched it.
Do you, I mean, are you going to make a point?
No, I was just wondering if you had seen it.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some freaking windows.
Well, if you were in his shoes, what would you have done? I guess that's my question.
Well, before I tell you what I would have done, the coincidence level is pretty high because I talked to my dad on the phone last week.
And he's a pilot?
Around the same time that this was happening.
Okay.
Because this story is from the middle of last week.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, how's everything going, you know?
Mm-hmm. You were calling him for legal advice about something.
Yeah,
I seem to recall.
He's a law professor, and I call him for legal advice. I don't call him to connect with him at all. I just call him for legal advice.
That's not true.
Oh, while I was getting legal advice, I was like, so how's everything going? He says, well, yesterday, I get home, I open the door to the foyer, and there's a snake in the foyer.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like,
did it say, hey?
I've been here all day. No. I said, so what'd you do? He said, well, I was thinking, what am I going to do about this snake? And he didn't know whether it was, he said it was like 14 inches long or so. It was small. It was it was probably just like a grass snake or something like that. But he's like, I'm not taking any chances. And so it's like, what am I going to do with this snake? And he says, as I was thinking, what am I going to do about this snake? It crawled to the corner of the foyer. And there's a little gap in the baseboard.
The baseboard.
And he said the snake just goes right into the baseboard. This goes into the wall. And he's like,
a mouse.
He's like, and he goes and gets some tape and tapes it up.
He taped the hole shut.
And I was like, so you could then figure out what to do and then come up with a better plan? He's like, no, just tape him in there. And so he taped the snake in the wall. And then that night, my mom is like
speechless,
freaking out. You know, she's like the Aussie pilot.
Something tells me that is not a tried and true exterminator technique.
Hey, listen.
I got the tape.
Everything's okay.
Where's the snake hole?
My strategy, this is not my dad, this is the exterminator that you call. My strategy is I'm going to force the varmint into any one of these cracks in your floor, and then I'm going to tape him in there.
See, all the pilot had to do was need some masking tape, and then, he's steering with his thigh, and then he's just putting tape over the holes. Evidently, he didn't need to have holes in his dashboard anyway. That was his problem, is what I'm getting at. So if your dad was there, he would have taped the holes in the dashboard, and he would have gone on to his destination.
Yeah, well, and my mom had trouble. She said, I'm going to have trouble sleeping because you just taped a snake into the wall. It can come out anywhere. And he said, well, then like 5 minutes later, she was asleep. So I guess it wasn't that big of a deal.
So they haven't done anything about this snake.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead by now. Or else he's having a great time in the wall.
Or you just look over at the tape sometimes and you just see there's something behind it just kind of poking at it. Hey! The snake is out, man.
Hey!
The snake could be anywhere at this point.
It's harmless.
When they landed the plane, a firefighter says that, let's see, where is this? A firefighter spotted the snake, but authorities were not immediately able to catch it. So they took some tape. No, they didn't. A trap baited with a mouse failed to catch the snake. By Thursday, the plane remained grounded, and now he's back in the air. He's flying again. The snake's never been found.
I would not, personally, okay, I'm not that frightened of snakes. It's a little ironic, too, because I have a recurring nightmare about snakes everywhere. Like
Indiana Jones?
Everywhere I step, there's a snake. This is a recurring dream. I've had it at least 20 times in my life. However, I'm not that scared of snakes. In fact, we've got a picture. We're going to show it. 2 summers ago, maybe last summer, in North Carolina, there was a snake in our front yard, like a rat snake, a big snake. I just picked the sucker up. Picked him up. I just reached down and picked him up like Steve Irwin, and he wrapped around my arm, and then I just went into the house and showed the kids. Because, dads need to do stuff like that. Like, hey, kids, I caught a snake, and then they think you're the greatest dad ever.
I would never do that. I mean, my kids already know that I'm the greatest dad ever. I don't have to prove it. And if I was going to prove it, I wouldn't prove it that way because I just can't bring myself to pick up a snake. I go to the museum with the kids, and they have the thing where they'll bring out a live snake, and they want you to hold it. And it freaks me out. I mean, there's just something inside of me, inside of most normal human beings. Are you afraid of snakes? Let us know. Back me up here. But I'm afraid, not only for myself, but that if I were to hold the snake, that I would freak out and dash it on the ground, and then the museum would be out of a good snake. Because at a certain point, and I think I have held a snake before, because I think when we did the zoo commercial, I held a snake. Mm-hmm. But I remember thinking the whole time,
You're shaking right now just thinking about it.
Well, I'm acting.
Oh, okay.
I remember thinking, I could dash this thing on the ground. And no one wins in that situation.
Why do you use the term dash? Like dash it upon the rocks?
Yeah, dash it on the rocks. Spike it like a football.
How about just throw it down?
But my fear goes even further. I mean, I'm definitely also afraid of spiders. I'm not going to let a tarantula in a museum crawl on my hand, even in such a controlled environment as a museum. But even out in the wilderness, when we go hiking, my daughter, she loves to pick up lizards and stuff. I can't bring myself to tell her I'm afraid to pick up that lizard. I just say, you're faster than me. You can pick up the lizard.
You would be the world's greatest dad. Well, you would be the second world's greatest dad next to me if you could pick up snakes for your kids and show them. Spiders, pick up that kind of stuff. Show them you're a man.
There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be a better way, Rhett. What are you afraid of? What do you have recurring dreams about?
In the animal world, are you afraid of snakes, spiders? You know, there's studies out there that say that we are not innately afraid of snakes and spiders, but that we quickly learn to become afraid of snakes and spiders. It is a learned reflex, not an innate one.
I think it's in the reptilian part of your brain.
Okay, so, trapped. I guess it's time to get out of here, you know? We'll walk over here. Try to go out this way. Ah. Can't get out.
Oh. Link! Listen.
We must be trapped.
Hold on. There's a door over here.
I've already tried that door.
No, this one.
That's a closet.
Ah!
There's no way out.
Crikey!
Looks like we better settle in. I know I've got one drink right here and it's cold. Still trapped.
If you die first, I'm gonna eat you. Just FYI.
Good mythical morning. Good mythical morning to me and you. Good mythical morning. Good mythical morning. Let's see what these boys will do. Good morning.